Good morning, everybody. I am back. Welcome to another episode of Latte with Lynda. And you'll notice that the location has changed. Yes, I borrowed the sun just for 7 days as I did the location. Welcome, Angela. Welcome to another episode of Latte with Lynda. Guess what? There is no latte, but something I made earlier. This is raw cacao milk, and the milk is, if you don't drink milk, you can use a milk alternative that is lactose free, and it is raw organic cacao powder that I buy from a wonderful little place I buy it online. They're called Healthy Supplies. I'm sure they won't mind me advertising my gazillion fans, and just getting them overrun with service, but they are wonderful, based in Brighton, and they do nuts and seeds and organic products, and they don't have to be organic, but really nice things. And it's the most beautiful service that you could ever ask for. If there's an issue, you contact them, they contact you back, they sort it out, and it's all done. So wonderful place, Healthy Supplies in Brighton, and they're online, and I've been shopping with them for about 10 years, buying my little online bits and pieces. Now, that is not why I came on. So as you will notice, yesterday I was absent without leave. Yes, and I did intend to come on, but travelled back, didn't get back till the early hours of the morning, and then I was back to doing my stuff. And before I knew it, I was racing out of the door to Canary Wharf to go and teach my Inferno Hot Pilates class, which I teach at 8 o'clock on a Thursday night at Bikram Yoga London. Yes, the room was filled with people who were very perplexed. There were a couple of people who kept giving me eye rolls, and I kept saying, you have a little headset. And I said, congratulations, that means you've gone from the comfort zone to the magic zone. And in fact, the funny thing was, as somebody was leaving, I was talking about the eye rolls. She said, yes, but they were part of the exercise as well. And I thought it was so funny, because that's the kind of thing I would say. So she got my sense of humour perfectly. That was Maria, who came to class last night. But there was one woman, or a couple of people, who just kept giving me eye rolls. You know the look. You know when you say, if looks could kill. It's a wonder I am here today. Just like that Juanita, the wife of the angel Gabriel, she gave me a look. It was that kind of look. And they were giving me those looks throughout the class, because what happens in the class, this is not what I planned to talk about, but I may as well now start it, I'll finish, we do high intensity interval training exercises to music, and the best way to get it to work for you is to find a rhythm in the music and then move your body and breathe to the music. And it really does work, trust me. This is the way I do it. This is my system. And unfortunately, not everybody is able to find rhythm. I'd forgotten that. But I just say, just do what you can. Just do your thing. She just kept giving me eye rolls. Because her thing. Anyway, I went over and I kind of moved with her. As she moved, I kind of moved in front so that she could see what I was doing, and she got it that way. But it didn't stop the eye rolls. But, and at the end of the class, she could barely say thank you as well. That's another story. I know. So there was an incident. Yeah, the class was full of incidents, Angela, full of incidents. And there, let me wave back. I didn't wave at you. Yeah, the class was full of incidents. That isn't why I came on. So today, I taught my yoga class. I may as well tell you about the yoga class as well. So what happens is, there's a tight turnaround. Thursday evening, late, high intensity, followed by Friday morning, early Shirley, hot yoga, Bikram hot yoga. So the class was busy today. First of all, there was Jack Frost. Jack Frost is a DJ. I'll go and Google him. You can Google him. He's a friend of Goldie's. So there was Goldie, DJ Ron, Jack Frost, and a whole room full of people. All came to see me. I know. It was really quite shocking, quite surprising. So we had 60 minutes hot yoga. And there were quite a lot of people in the room today. Not quite a lot. There were one or two people in the room who are new to the class. And it's quite a challenge. It doesn't have to be. Because when you come for the first time to anything, you've got no expectations. So actually it's easier. And the hardest thing to do is actually to stay in the room. Actually, it's harder than that, is actually getting there. So once you've got there, the next challenge is to stay in the room. And Jack had never been in the class before, and he did really well. He stayed in the room. He did as much as he can, and that is all you can ever ask of yourself for anything you do, whatever exercise it is, whatever you do. As long as you do your very, very best, that is all you can ever ask of yourself, and be very proud of yourselves. So we did it, 60 minutes. I say we. And the thing was, I treated it like a stand-up show. I know. I kept throwing in jokes. And I said, well, somebody said I was very funny. And actually, the eye rolls came back. I had a word, I mentioned it. In fact, I was telling everybody generally, but Goldie seemed to think I was talking to him. And he's like, oh, okay, you know. So I clearly got to them with my jokes. For example, we have some exercise that's called the Spine Strengthening Series. And I said, these are the new Avengers. I thought that was quite funny. It's a very good line. It's in one of my short stories, actually. And what else did I say that was funny? I can't remember now. There was something. Oh, yeah. Some of the exercises are just a few seconds. And there's one that the dialogue goes, it's only 10 seconds. So I said to them, right, it's a busy room. Busy enough for us to form. I'm launching an formal investigation into allegations that the next posture is only 10 seconds. I think when I said I'm launching an investigation, people were like, but when I said, then they lightened when I kind of threw in my little punchline. I think it's funny. I do it every so often. I crack that joke and make sure that it's a different set of people in the room, or there are people who know and they enjoy the joke as well. And then we do that one twice. So when we do it the second time, often what they say, the dialogue goes, and it's half the time. Well, it can't be 5 seconds, can it? But I say something along the lines of, and we're going to do it again. Let's do it again. And this time, it's only 5 seconds. And I see whether they believe me or not. Anyway, yeah. So those were the classes: Inferno Hot Pilates, late night, early morning, Bikram hot yoga. And now today is Friday. Friday for me is inner work day. Inner work Friday, I call it. I launched this day several months ago. Can't remember when or why, but it's an opportunity to go within. Very, very important. I'm building my business and can't just do the stuff on the outside. Every day I have an incident with MailChimp. As I work out the system of emails. So poor people, anybody on my mailing list will get random emails, and it's because I'm still figuring things out. You can choose not to read them. Now, don't delete them before you've read them. Otherwise, it'll send a system to your email system to throw my beautiful emails into spam. So make sure you at least open them and pretend to read them. That way, when the really important email for you arrives, it's not in the spam bin, because I'm finding that I've offered people things and they haven't followed up, and I assume it's because the information has gone to spam. Now that is a missed opportunity. Another story. So Inner Work Friday, very much about going within. Remember, 80 to 90% of everything is about what is going on the inside. And you will hear again and again and again from people, we create our own reality. What we get or what we receive is what we are radiating out, what we are giving out. So think about what you are giving out and how you are being. And you can change that from the inside out. So I like to start with the thoughts. And today, what did I do today? I've started a new thing. I start new things every day. Remember, I did the 10 days meditation. That's finished, and I would like to get back and form and have a regular meditation practice. I did the 369 empowerment affirmations. Then something else came to me, and it's gone again. Whatever it is, I haven't done today, but I do. So my non-negotiable is the mirror work. So stand in front of the mirror. So I was at the studio today, nobody there in the studio, surrounded by mirrors, shouting. Not at me, but just kind of delivering with, once more with passion, the mirror work. You know, the Lynda, I love you, I really love you. Today is a great day, another great day to start again from scratch. I am open to the wonders, the magic, the miracles, the abundance. I am open and ready to receive it all because I am worthy, I am worthy, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I deserve it, I am enough. Now, the things I haven't done, because I haven't been in the shower. Well, I've been in the shower at the yoga studio, but it's one of those ones where you press the tap, it comes on for 30 seconds. In fact, it doesn't feel like 30 seconds at all. And then it stops, so you keep having to press. So I haven't done the hair yet. But I like to have a system in the shower where I'm doing the hair, so I unplait. And as I unplait, I say the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And that prayer is an Hawaiian prayer, and I was told about that by my Inferno Hot Pilates teacher, Gabby Walters, many years ago. And that prayer is said to be a healing prayer. And there's a story about a doctor who was in one location and he was looking at the medical records of people. I don't know whether they were inmates or whether they were mentally ill. I'm not sure. Whatever their status was, they were in a hospital. He was in a different location. He was looking at their records. And for every name that he picked out and every record that he looked at, he said, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And he did that over and over again for I don't know how long, maybe a year, I don't know. What they did find that was very interesting was that through that, what he'd done, that there was remarkable improvement in the health of the people whose records he had been looking at. And it has been known, there are stories, there are cases of people when somebody is ill somewhere and they've had the mass prayer, we have Lords and all of these different things that people do and try. So they talk about the power of prayer, the power of positive affirmations to really change energy and change things for the better. So there's the Ho'oponopono prayer. Take the plaits out, Ho'oponopono prayer. Comb the hair, sometimes a bit of Ho'oponopono prayer. Then we move on to the Louise Hay. What is that? All is well. So this one is all about calming your nervous system because we have a tendency nowadays to be constantly and consistently and continually in fight or flight, where your heart, you're probably having palpitations, you kind of feel like something is happening or something's going to happen, and we're in that constant state. And so this is from Louise Hay, and it's all aimed at calming you down. And that one is all is well, everything is working out for my highest good, and from this situation or experience, you can say, only good will come to me. I am safe, I am protected, I am loved. So as I'm combing the hair and plaiting the hair, I'll say that one. And I'll alternate between situation and experience as well, if I can remember. It just calms the nervous system. And one of the things I was reading about so I'm reading, it's not here, so I can't share it with you. Morning, Dawn. I am talking for Britain. Dawn, meet Angela. Angela, meet Dawn. You will get on very, very well, I promise you. So now that's sent me right off tangent. If anyone was paying attention, what was it? Oh yeah. So the book I'm reading. So I am reading The Dark Side of the Shadow of the Light Chasers. Now that's really interesting. So my class was packed today with people of note. So we had Goldie, we had DJ Ron, we had Jack Frost. He's a DJ. Also had Catherine Hunter, the actress, who is just back from filming something. And I was raving about this book, and she was like, she literally took notes. This is how passionate I get about things. I could sell rum to the Jamaicans. I get so passionate about things. If I got passionate enough about rum, I could sell them rum. I know. So the dark side of the light chasers is all about embracing your shadow side, because, as you know, my thing, self-love and empowerment. Love yourself and you will empower yourself. However, you cannot simply focus on the bits that you like. It's essential to focus on what you don't like, because within that darkness is actually your light. And so the book is by Debbie Ford, and she was talking about how we suppress so much of ourselves that we actually don't know who we are. And one of the things she talked about was about how sometimes, and the other thing is that a lot of what we are about is actually inherited. So we have this conditioning that starts as soon as we come into the world. We are conditioned in this way, that way, with all these stories and superstitions and all of this, and that can be intergenerational. It doesn't even have to come from within your family. It can come from generations and generations back, way back. And so she was talking about the nervous system and how you can be in a state of anxiety, and it's literally not your anxiety, it's not your pain, it's not your shame, it's not your guilt. It's through that conditioning, or through your own sense of, if you are an empath, then you pick things up. So you will have picked up somebody else's emotions. And she said, and so she talked about how, through uncovering these layers to get to your shadow and find that true you, how you can kind of relieve that. Louise Hay that I was talking about was one way of relieving that anxiety. So back to Debbie Ford and the shadow. So we have created, and I mentioned it before, and I love this analogy. It is the best one ever. Imagine you are a castle, and your castle has many as you like rooms, and these rooms are delicious and delightful and beautiful and intriguing, and they are everything. They are your everything. They are you. You are this castle with all these wonderful, magnificent rooms, and you love each and every one, until one day somebody comes along to your castle and looks you up and down and says, "Oh, goodness, that room is awful." And you think, "Oh, God, oh, awful, oh, God." And so you close it down. And then somebody else comes, another room, and you close. And so you start to close the doors of all of these different rooms in your beautiful castle, because other people have said something. On top of that, you then start to anticipate what other people are saying and thinking. And so you start to perceive what other people are saying. So you start to close doors. Now, this next bit is my own version, but I like it. So you've gone from this wonderful rambling castle of beauty and intrigue and all kinds of things to a studio flat. Just give us some water. No water. Right, we'll have to make do. A studio flat, a studio apartment, because you've closed yourself down, and actually you no longer know who you are. You are, and in fact, if you look at my reel from today, it's actually very, very poignant that I should find Donisha Prendergast, who is Bob Marley's granddaughter. I believe she's a filmmaker. She's probably a writer. Absolutely incredible, articulate, fantastic, and the words were beautiful. And she talked about how we have become what we feel other people think we should be, or have told us, basically. And she said, it's time to remember who you are, the person you are or were before you were told to be somebody else. She says it much more beautifully than me, but you get the drift. So now is the time to start to open up the doors of the castle. And it is scary because we're in our heads and we've created monsters with our beauty and with our genius and our magnificence. So we get out of our heads and we start to explore the castle, and we open up room by room. And yes, there are some scary bits in there, because the idea is that if you take, so we are all X percentage water. So we are all one, basically. This is what I'm trying to say. I can't actually make that analogy between the water and us all being one. We are the ocean. We are literally a drop from the ocean. And if we fall back into the ocean, we're just going to disappear into one big ocean. So we're all one, which means that all those horrible bits that you don't like about other people, that you see or you read a story and you think, oh my God, how could anybody do that? That person is actually you, because there is a part of you, you have a part within you that has the potential to do that thing or be that person. Doesn't mean that you are, but when you embrace your shadow, you get to accept that actually that is horrific. And then you ask the question, is there a point in my past when I have behaved that way? If it comes to killing, guaranteed it's going to be you were 2 years old. It might even have been yesterday when you swatted that fly and murdered that fly. That is murder. So that's a possibility. I don't, making a joke of it, but seriously, is there a point in your past when that thing? So let's take something that has awful as murder. Is there a point anywhere when you have killed? Is there a point now when that is a potential within your life? Or the one that she uses that I like is in another time, in another place, under different circumstances, do you have that potential? And that's the one I think that most people will gravitate towards when it is something quite horrendous that you think, well, there's no way. Another time, another place, another set of circumstances, the potential is there. So this is how you start to embrace those aspects that you think, ooh, they're not very nice. However, what is within your shadow as well, guaranteed, is your creativity, your ability to be who you are and be that different person. While we are all one and the same in terms of, the same energy and water and all of that, we are unique and unrepeatable, and we are all here for our own specific mission. And it's time to accept the mission and go on your way and enjoy it and enjoy the journey, because that's what it's about. The destination is maybe not so good. So let's enjoy that journey. So the inner work Friday is about going within, and I'm working on the shadow, and there's a lot. One of the exercises, another exercise in the book, is where she gives you a list of words. Somehow I managed to write down 72, and there were hundreds. I wrote down 72, and then she says you've got to go through every single word, and you do that thing. Do I have the capacity? So the words are, you write down the words that trigger you. So this is where I went a bit giddy, and I wrote down 72. I'm not sure that, because when I went back, I didn't feel that they all triggered me. And the reason you do that is so that you can start to see what the triggers are. And so what Debbie Ford says is that when you meet somebody, or when you're in a situation, or you're reading the paper, or whatever you're doing, watching TV, and you start to judge somebody, that is an indication of your shadow. You are judging something that you may well find repulsive or horrible, and so you've got to stop and ask yourself, okay, so I'm actually judging myself. What is it about that behaviour or that person that is triggering me? Where is that within me? And you uncover it, and then what you do is you look for the beauty in it. So she talks about, there's a really good story about a guy who, he didn't like wimps. That was his term, wimp. And it all went back to when he was a child. He was going on a pony ride, but he didn't want to go because he was terrified. He was terrified of the pony, and his dad called him a wimp. And so from that day, he decided that he was not going to be a wimp, and he was going to do everything in his power to show his strength and his courage, which meant that when he saw people who were wimpy, he disliked them. And he made a note of, saying horrible things to himself maybe, but he definitely disliked them. So when he worked with Debbie Ford, she said, is there a time in your life when being a wimp, and he's used his words, has been to your advantage? And the guy thought, and then then he had this memory, and he had buried it so deep. This is how clever we are. We remember every single thing. There's nothing that does not slip us. We remember every single thing. But we choose to bury that memory. And he had buried this memory so deep, it was only when she asked the question about how being a wimp had saved him did he recall. And basically, he was at university, and he was with friends, and they'd been drinking, and the group of friends wanted to do more drinking, so they were going to get in a car and drive somewhere, and he chose in that moment to be a wimp. He lied to them. He said, I've got a date, so I'm not going to go. That was a lie. He had no date. His reasoning was he did not want to first of all, he didn't want to be in a car with drinking and driving. And secondly, he was worried about the safety. Lo and behold, that act of being a so-called wimp saved him, because the group of friends, one of them was killed in a car accident through drink driving in that incident. So that had saved him. And so he was able to then, at that moment, have that breakthrough that actually being a wimp, you don't even have to use that term. You can see it in a different way. And it had saved his life. And so therefore, he then had greater respect for the person that he was talking about at this event that he called a wimp. And actually then he could see the person in a completely different light. And he was able to make peace with that part of him and then integrate that aspect of him and recognise that something that he felt was very negative did have a positive side. So that is what it's about. And there's a lot of work to do, because you can imagine all that array of aspects of you to uncover. And another one I'm going to tell you about before I leave this is another fun one. This is really great fun. So a lot of these exercises you do, you're going to do 5 breaths. So you're going to inhale for 5, hold it for 5 or more for as long as you can, and then a nice slow exhale. You do that 5 times, so your eyes are closed, and you keep your eyes closed, and you then get onto a bus. On that bus, the bus is jam-packed with people, absolutely packed. There's no room to breathe hardly. But the good news is, these people are all you. They are I think she calls them sub-personalities. So they are different aspects of your personality. And they are male, female, old, young, every race, creed, colour, every nationality, religion. Everybody is in there, in that bus. And you get to choose who you're going to speak to first. You're going to speak to them all at some point. So this is why this is a long journey with the shadow work. You get on the bus. You find who's the person that stands out for you most on that bus. There's probably somebody, they bash you on the shoulder, you turn around, and then you decide who that person is. Are they male, female? What do they look like? What they sound like? What they smell like? What is their personality? And you give them a name. So you could have literally Hungry Horace. So that might be somebody, big, fat. Doesn't even have to be a person. So it could be a big, fat hippopotamus. And then you have a conversation with that person. So you still got your eyes closed, and you're still breathing. You've got yourself into this nice state, and then you have your conversation. What's your name? Who are you? What are you about? What is your gift to me? And then you have that conversation. You work out why Hungry Horace may be a gift to you. I can't think of anything right now, but I'm trying to think of one of the examples that she uses. she uses arrogance, I think. Arrogant Arabella, that's not the name. And so she has a conversation with the character, this arrogant woman who's skinny and I can't remember any of the other description. And she says, what is your gift? And so Arabella says, well, without me, you would not be where you are today. I am arrogant. I have spoken out. I have known things. So I've got you to this position. Without me, you would not be here. So therefore, she was able to see the gift of that arrogance, being able to stand up for herself, standing her power, say no, make decisions firmly, not be walked over by people. So she was able to see a lot of beauty in something that actually she found quite repulsive until that point. And so she was able to integrate. And I think you can hug, as you're in your kind of state, you hug your person and you integrate. And you just go on, you can spend, and then you get off the bus and you can journal on the experience of that one person, and you can get back on the bus at different times and you go through. It's a very crowded bus, it's very noisy, and it's going a long way, so there is a lot to do. So those are two really great exercises in working in shadow work. And why am I talking about shadow work if I'm a self-love and empowerment coach? Because if you are to love yourself, you get to love every single aspect of you. You cannot simply focus on the nice bits, because that is not self-love. That is just fooling yourself. And you are going to you're going to feel very judgmental. You're going to judge others. You're going to judge yourself. You're going to criticize others. You're going to criticize yourself. But once you start to uncover and stop, why am I criticizing that person? What is it about them? Where is that in me? How can I alchemize that? So alchemizing is taking that, finding the gift in it, and then integrating that aspect of you. So that's why I'm talking about it, because in order to love yourself, you get to love every single part of you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. When you do this, then it all changes. I guarantee, because once you love yourself, then you can see also not just what it is about other people that you don't like, where you are settling, where you're settling for less, whether that's relationships, whether that's jobs, whether it's whatever the situation, you can see more clearly where you are settling for less than what you deserve, because you recognize your self-worth, and you cannot raise the ceiling or remove the ceiling of your self-worth until you let go of those people and things that are keeping a lid on you and reducing your self-worth. So this is why it's all so important, the shadow work, the uncovering of who you really are. It is marvellous. Now, well, according to my watch, I've reached my goal. I've reached my goal by waving my arms around during this live. This is fantastic. The goal is 10,000 steps. That is not possible. I've walked virtually nowhere. I did walk around the yoga room a bit, and I did walk to and from the shops and the bus stop. That is not 10,000 steps, but let's not quibble. Let's just celebrate 10,000 steps in this life. On this day, Friday, the 30th of August, oh my goodness, we are approaching September already. School starts now. Angela, does school start on Monday? Or is it, I was talking to my friend at the yoga studio today, and her children, one starts on Wednesday, one starts on Friday afternoon for an hour. In my day, literally used to go in. You used to have to go in and you start on the Monday morning and you'd be there for the whole day. Monday, yes, good old-fashioned schooling, back to school, Monday morning, nice and early. And this business about inset days, I mean, we used to just literally hit the ground running. Everybody, teachers, warts, all, we just hit the ground running. Off on a tangent, as always. Right, on that note, so for me, Inner Work Friday, I did not read the chapter of the book that I intended to read yesterday, so I'm still 2 chapters to go before I finish the book. However, it's a book that I get to go back to and go through the exercises. So I'm going to be hopping on the bus maybe you're going to hop on your bus and let me know, by the way, let me know which character you which character picks you out. You won't be picking anybody out. The one, the most loudest or the most outrageous is going to be the one that's going to stand out to you. And is it going to be a person, a place, a thing, an animal? What is it going to be? What are they going to say to you? On that note, Soul Tribe, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, I get you, I've got you, I love you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you very soon. So this is episode 7 of Latte with Lynda. Let's see how long I catch up that up. Let's see how long I keep that up for. If you wish to edit this bit out and go back to those mixed up words and rearrange them, that's all good. On that note, have a wonderful day. Sending lots of love. Bye.